One of my dearest, closest friends in the world happens to be a global brand in and of herself. And she's a New York Times bestselling author. She's changed millions of lives around the world and continues to. And she is just at the tip of her career, in my opinion. It's no other than the amazing Kris Carr. Kris.
Hi, Hendy.
Hi. I love having you here. This is just like I could talk to you forever and ever, and we're going to obviously share some really good stuff. But what I want to talk to you about today, I've heard you speak. You're one of my closest friends. We have our mate meetings on Skype. When I'm wearing my glasses, I roll out of bed. And, when you're on stage and when you're in the public eye, 99.9, if not 100% of the time, you're talking about, obviously, green juice, healthy living, what it takes to really have an amazing life from the inside out, but focused in the health and wellness area. And what I find fascinating about you is you're quite a savvy businesswoman. So what I'd love to talk about on MarieTV today, if it's cool, if we can dive back in time and talk a little bit about how Kris Carr got to be Kris Carr and how you built this thing. Because I know from the outside, people say, oh, she's so beautiful, and oh, she's got this big brand, and it seems like it's happened so easily. But one thing I know about you is that this has been probably over a decade in the making, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm sure people look at you now and think that while you're very, very good at revealing your own struggles, your own challenges, places in your life that you're bumping up against and being gracious enough and vulnerable enough to let us all see what you're going through. I think sometimes people don't know really the business side of it, right? Because you'll reveal certain kind of challenges, but it's just, if business isn't your topic to talk about, there's no real reason to talk about it. Well, we're going to talk about it today.
We're going to talk about it.
Let's talk about it today. And then one of the other things that I love and just admire about you is your unique voice. So before we wrap up today, let's put a little mental pin in for us that I want to talk about why it's so important to have your own voice. Because, I see a lot of people that love you and admire you, and whether they're aware of it or not, I see them trying to be you a bit. And I think that one of the reasons that you're so successful is because you're so unique. And you're so authentic.
Thank you, baby.
You're welcome. But it's the truth, though. And so a really big message for me that I want to get across, and I'm sure we can, we'll talk about this later, is how important it is to have your own voice and to retain your own voice through your message, whatever you're doing in the world.
Oh, girl. Well, you know what? You said something at the top, and for me, it wasn't a business. It wasn't a business until really the last 2 years. It was a soul project, a heart project. It was eye on the prize, and the prize has always been helping people. And that's the currency that I received back. But I invested all of my time, all of my own personal finances into this movement, if you want to call it brand. And there was no other choice for me. It's when I got the call, I picked up the phone and I was like, all right, I'm ready, let's go. Where do we start? And it started with Crazy Sexy Cancer, but at the time it was mass emails that I was sending to family and friends, and they were just updates to see how I was doing.
Right, to make sure that the beloved Kris was still alive.
Yeah, alive and kicking and funny and a little raunchy,
And that's one of the things I love about you is you love to get a little raunchy, especially with me. So basically, and I love hearing this, is it wasn't started as a business. It was started as a movement. It was started as a labor of love and a labor of your soul.
Absolutely.
And really to be of service. And I think what you said is really interesting, and I want to make sure that people really get it. For you, from your point of view, this really didn't turn into a business until 2 years ago.
2 years ago, and a lot of money invested. And invested with joy, because I knew I was reaching so many people. And when it became more of a business, it was really because, first and foremost, you gotta juice, and cucumbers can be pricey when they're organic.
Oh my goodness, they are. I sometimes look at my little juice, I'm like, holy shizzle, it's a lot. Yeah.
And then also to get out there as far as I've wanted to get out there, I can't do this alone. We have an amazing, well-oiled machine, and my team members are my life. And so to make them happy and healthy and prosperous, I needed to turn the tide and make it more of a business.
So let me ask you this. So where did the money come from for you? How did you even have enough money to eat and to buy some cucumbers and to juice those cucumbers when you first started out?
Well, I had a whole other business and a whole other career prior. So
I know that, but I don't know if everybody else knows a little bit about your background. So it was
I was an actress.
Yep.
And I did a lot of TV commercials.
Awesome.
I taught at NYU.
And?
I had a photography business.
And
I was a dancer and a choreographer.
So a little multi-passionate nature happening.
Amen.
Amen.
And I always was a squirrel and saved my nuts. And when it was time for me to really make an investment in, first and foremost, my health and well-being, and secondly into, you know, my writing and having the space to be able to put my creativity out there, I sold my apartment that I had, and I also sold everything else that I had, and that's how I started to.
Is that how you funded your movie? Was that like, that was the funding of the movie?
First it was credit cards, then it was then it was my apartment, and then TLC bought it and gave me the finishing funds for it.
Amazing. And so that's when kind of the engine started, like the wheels really, you know, started to take off. So there was something that coming in and you had a product that was starting to go out, and which of course sparked requests for speaking engagements and things like that.
Absolutely. And then I sold the book at the same time because I knew that I had to.
Which was Crazy Sexy Cancer Tips. Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I knew that this was a perfect time to have a platform. It was going to air. I had a lot more to say, sort of like the how-to manual.
Yep.
The shizzle hits the fan. This is what you do, ladies.
Now I want to talk about something that may be a little difficult, and I know many, many people go through, many of my viewers go through. Did you have naysayers? Did you have people that told you, Kris, it's real cute what you're trying to do, or, you know, this is real great, but you got to go get a real job, or what the hell are you doing, or stop this? Did you have that?
Oh, absolutely. In fact, I had TV producers say, you know, hello, sweet girl who suffers, and I feel bad that you're a victim. But those words together are volatile, and they should never be. And cancer's ugly.
Oh.
Okay. So,
wait, they told you you're crazy, sexy cancer. They said those words are volatile together.
That'll never happen. You'll never see somebody like you on TV talking about cancer the way you want to.
Meaning, so okay, you went out and pitched, and that's what you got back
from network after network after network. And until TLC.
God, you are so genius, and the only you that is ever going to be on this planet. Like, let's get that out, because you trying to do anything else, your business is going to fall flat. Even though it seems like the easier thing to do, people never get the results that they expect, and they're always feeling like a shadow of someone, and no one needs to feel like that.
And it's so great that you teach that, because, and I think it comes back to the earlier point, which is just give yourself permission. Just stop thinking that you're not enough.
Yes.
And that you have to be Marie or Kris or Danielle Laporte. You don't. People don't want that. We have that covered.
Right.
But they want you, and they want you really badly.
Yeah. And when I see people being fully them, like, it literally brings me to tears, you know, and it's really, really exciting. And you can hear just that original, it's like a snowflake coming out, and it's really, really moving. Very cool. The last thing I want to ask for you for today is, you know, you've been on this incredible journey, and there's so many people in our audience who are just starting out, just at the very beginning. There's something they believe in, there's something that they want to get out into the world, there's something that they really want to make real and make it sustainable and make an impact in the world. If you could either look back and tell yourself, you know, 3 things, or say something to them that would really make a difference when they're at the beginning of this journey, what would you say?
Wow, that's such a great question. You know, I think it's really important for us to dream big and to see it, and to let yourself journal and walk and think about it and say, oh, wouldn't it be neat if that happened? And I can see myself in those shoes doing that thing. Oh, that feels good, because your cells start to vibrate and you start to have that inner smile.
Yep.
So be in that place, and then go home and get really clear about what you're gonna do today. Like those little actionable steps, and not saying I have to be everything to every person, right? Like, what is the thing that I do, and just get really focused about doing that, as opposed to being like way up in the clouds. And I think you and I were talking about, you know, wanting to have a brand that's for men and women and ponies and everybody.
Unicorns.
Yeah, you know, it's like, no, I work with women, and I work with women from this age to that age. The teenagers, they don't want to be with me.
Yeah.
Over a certain age, they're like, good, sweetheart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have my demographic, and this is how we jam.
Yeah.
And so get really clear about what you want. And then I don't know about you, and you teach me this all the time because you keep me on the no train. I can't metabolize more than 3 things a day. That's it. 3 things.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's great. So have that big vision. get clear on exactly what your thing is, and then take some small steps, but not too many where you're overwhelming them. Yeah, I love it. And I think it's also about really having faith and keeping the faith and doing what you need to do and to stay on your hustle as things grow, because people really, really, really overestimate, like they think they can build something huge in like a hot minute. And for most of the successful people I know, there was like such a long period of hustling and nobody knowing what they're doing, and they're just doing the good work day in and day out before something pops. I think it's a really important lesson. I just adore you. Thank you so much. So I can't imagine that anyone in the MarieTV audience doesn't know who you are, but if they want some more Kris Carr, what's the best place that they should go to?
CrazySexyLife.com.
Yeah. And definitely sign up for Kris's newsletter, because it's awesome if you're not on it. It's just such juicy soul vitamins.